Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you from Tier 1 Cards and Games in Anchorage, Alaska, where we will be fighting a 500-point battle in the War on Reit 1, which is the Escalation League here at Tier 1 Cards and Games. So this is the first round of matches, which is at 500 points, and my Dark Angels will be taking on John's Tyranids here for 500 points on the first round here of the War on Reit. So the story is that my Dark Angels, led by Librarian Pertius, have landed on the planet where a lot of other different factions and Xenos have been called to the planet to fight out and try to recover whatever it is that they're looking for here. I believe the Dark Angels are obviously on the hunt for the Fallen and are taking on anybody that they find around. So that's the story that we've got going on here today. Before we go any further, let's show you the two armies that will be playing today and the psychic powers. So for the first round of the Escalation League, you needed to take one troop choice, and you could have 0 to 1 HQ choices, and beyond that it was kind of pretty much open. So for the Dark Angels, I will be running a combined arms detachment. In my HQ slot, I have a level 1 Librarian. We have a 5-man tactical squad. We have another 5-man tactical squad. We have a 5-man Devastator squad with 2 grav cannons and a Rhino as a dedicated transport. And last but not least, we have a 3-man Black Knight squadron. So for the Tyranids, he'll be running a Hive Tyrant with Electroshock Grubs, Twin Link Devourers with Brain Leech Worms. We have a Malanthrope. We have a 3-spore Meiotic Spore Brood. We have a 10-gaunt Termagant Brood with Flesh Borers. And last but not least, we have the Spore Field formation with 3 Mucilid Spores and 3 sets of 3 Spore Mines. So the Dark Angels Librarian rolled on Interromancy, so we got Mind Worm as the Primaris and Righteous Repugnance. Alright, so those are the armies that will be fighting here today. So we'll go over deployment here for, well, just also to let you know, spores actually count as scoring units in the league just because of the way they wrote out the rules, despite the protestations of Jonathan himself, which is kind of odd since it helps him most of all. So that's the story that we've got going on here. It's a pretty competitive league, as you can see from our list. They're not, they're not pushover lists, so just to let you know that that's what's going on. It's not like we're just being jerks by choosing what we've chosen. The league is a little bit competitive, so you're probably going to see a couple battle reports from this league coming up as it escalates through to higher and higher point value, so just to let you know. So yeah, let's go over deployment here. So I've got my bikers there on the left. This is actually going to be the edge of our map that we're going to be going on. It just so happens that we're going to be very concentrated on this part of it. But yeah, that's going to be the edge of the map for our purposes here. I've got a 5-man tactical squad in the building over here by my Emperor's Will objective. Attached to them is my Warlord Librarian. Then I've got another 5-man tactical squad there, and the Rhino is full of Grav Devastators. So then, Jonathan's, as you can see here, these Meiotic Spores, the way their rules work is they have to deep strike before first turn. So he deep struck there, and it was actually, he's trying to put them in front of them, and they shot right over my guys. So they're right there. Kind of brutal. Then he's got his Hive Tyrant there, he's got the Malanthrope, and he's got the Termagants inside there, and then he's got a whole bunch of Spores in Deep Strike Reserve. So, as of right now, Tyranids are going to go first, but the Dark Angels are going to try to seize the initiative. My Warlord trait that I rolled gives me +1 to my seize the initiative, so I will be seizing on a 5+. Boom! Yes! Alright, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels here on turn 1. Alright, movement phase here for Dark Angels. These guys stood still. This just pivoted. These guys moved up 6 inches. These guys shot up 12 inches. And that's it for the movement phase here for Dark Angels. So we rolled for Psychic Power, and I rolled a 6, leaving me with 7 dice, leaving my opponent with 8 dice. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cast Mind Worm, which is a level 1 power. So I'm going to roll 4 dice at that. 4 dice. It goes off with 2.
What's my word?
It's a Strength 6, AP 2, Assault 1, ignores cover, Sap Will. Sap Will's not going to make a difference. So.
I'll try it.
Okay, just going to try to deny it. And he does not, so that will go off. All right, so we'll figure that out and come back to you. All right, yeah, that sucked. He hit him, and then rolled a 1 to wound. He needed a 2. So, brump, brump. All right, then I've got 3 dice left. I'm going to cast Righteous Repugnance onto these dude bros here. So, Righteous Repugnance. That goes off with 1. All right, so they are righteously repugned, which gives them a rage. Oh, he's got 2 dice left. That does not hurt. Oh, okay, I thought he didn't have any, but he did have 2. So, yeah, so these guys are righteously repugned. Those guys didn't get shot by that. So, all right, so that's it for the psychic phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase for Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, these the Black Knights, not the Dark Knights, the Black Knights are going to shoot into his Hive Tyrant there. So we've got three shots coming in here. So hitting on 3s because he's still not up in the air yet. All right, twin link. This one can get hot, so let's roll this separately. Oh, it does get hot. 3+ armor save. Yeah, okay. This one's 3. Okay, so only 1 hit. What's his toughness?
6.
6. So wounding on a 3. That's a wound. He gets his 2+ cover save, and he's good. All right, moving on. All right, this squad here is going to fire into the meiotic spores. So they're just going to use their rapid fire bolters, and the 2 guys are going to shoot pistols. So we've got 10 shots coming in here, hitting on 3s. Okay, wow, pretty good. Toughness 3, right? So wounding on 3s. We've got, wow, that's a lot of wounds. Oh, geez. All right, so we got 9 wounds, and they've got shrouded. So looking for, what are you looking for? I'm sorry. 4s. So we've got 3.
But they're all dead.
Oh, they're all dead because they only have 1 wound each.
Yes.
So now they turn into, because they're dead, they turn into other spore things, like 3 sets of mines each. So we'll figure that out and come back to you with the results. All right, so that's the result. He rolled 1 D3 + 1 for each of them because they all died. So we got this one rolled D3 + 1, got 3, 2, and 2. So I lucked out pretty well on that. So moving on to the shooting phase, these guys, the squad inside there is going to fire onto the 3-man squad. And what's going to happen is I'm just going to shoot bolter guys at them. So one of them is going to take the Signum, which is going to be the black, hitting on 2s. Greens are going to be hitting on 3s. Just regular bolters. So 2s and 3s. Oh. Okay.
Weapon scope, ballistic scope 4. So yeah, you hit.
All right. Wounding on 2s. Okay, so that's 2 wounds. Did they get a save?
Yeah, no.
They did not get a save. So 2 guys are dead over here. So we'll keep going on. All right, now the Storm Bolter is going to fire into the 2-man squad there, hitting on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 2s. 2 wounds and no saves, so they are dead. All right, moving on. All right, this tactical squad is going to fire into those guys. So I've got 9 shots coming in between the rapid fire and bolters and the bolt pistol, hitting on 3s. Alrighty, wounding on 2s. They are dead. Alrighty, and that's going to be it for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. So we'll come back to you with after movement phase for Tyranids on turn 1. All right, movement phase for Tyranids here on turn 1. The flying Hive Tyrant flew all the way up to here. His spore mine moved a little bit closer to my tank there, and these bros just kind of shuffled around over there. So the Malanthrope is still back in there. And that's it for movement phase here on turn 1 for the Tyranids. Then we rolled for Psychic Power, and he rolled a 2, leaving me with 3 dice, leaving him with 4. He's going to roll with 5. You're level 3? Yeah, 4. So he's going to roll Psychic Shriek, needing how many?
2.
Needing 2, so he gets 2 right there. I'm going to try to deny it. Oh, he only needs 1, so he still got it. So he got 2. I'm going to deny it. My Librarian's unit is within range, so he's going to try to deny it on that. So he gets +1 for being a Psychic. So denying on 5s, I need 2 5s. Oh, so close. Okay, so that goes off. We'll come back to you with the results of Psychic Shriek. All right, so he killed 2 guys in this unit. They passed their leadership test. I killed 1 guy in this unit and killed nobody in that unit. So that's the end of the Psychic phase. So we'll come back to you with the shooting phase here for Tyranids on turn 1. All right, so his Hive Tyrant is going to fire into my Rhino. Twin linked, hitting on 3s. All right, twin link. Quite a few 2s in there. Only 2s, no 1s. That's weird. All right. Oh, they're the 1s. All right. What's the strength on this?
6.
Strength 6 for an armor 11, so needing 5s to glance. 1 pen. All right, so why don't you see what the result of that pen is? It's a 1, so it will be snap firing. Okay, so yeah, that's it for shoot. I think that's it for the shooting phase. That's it for the turn 2, because he's not going to run. All right, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, so we lied. There's actually an assault here, because the Spore Mine is going to assault into my Rhino. So the squad inside is going to fire Overwatch. Just going to have 2 bolter guys do it. So hitting on 5s and 6s because of Grim Resolve. Got 1. Wounding on a 2. It's a wound, so it's just dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just dead. Okay, that didn't matter. All right, woo! Okay, I needed that. All right, so now it's the end of the Tyranid turn here on turn 1. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. The only guys that moved are those guys. They ran up into the ruins over there. So yeah, that's all we got for the psychic phase, for the movement phase. So now we're going to move on to the psychic phase. I rolled a 4, leaving me with 5 dice, leaving my opponent with 6 dice. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to cast Mind Worm onto his Tyrant there. So needing 1, getting it with 2 and Peralzine. Oh god, he's denying on 4s. He doesn't deny it. Oh wow. Okay. So here, I'll roll this on camera just in case I accidentally rolled another 6. So we're going to go through and continue with the Mind Worm now, and then we'll come back for the perils that he got. So needing a 6 to hit because he's flying. Oh, he hits it! Okay. So it's Strength 6, AP 2, ignores cover, sap will. So Strength 6, he's a Toughness 6.
Yep.
So needing a 4 to wound. That's a wound. AP 2, so, and ignores cover, no save. So, oh snap. Okay, so he took a wound. He just took a wound, and he's now got Sap Will, which is weapon skill, ballistic skill, initiative, and leadership characteristics are now reduced by 3 to a minimum of 1 for the rest of the battle. The rest of the battle. Woo! And now now it's the end of the psychic phase, so now he has to roll a grounding test. A 2? What's it?
Grounded.
He's grounded! Yeah. Oh, so now he takes a strength 9.
AP 2, so he loses another wound.
Well, strength 9, you still got to roll to see if it wounds, right? It does. Okay, so he takes 2 wounds and he's grounded. That's super brutal. Let's see if he blows himself up. Now the perils result. 6, no. If he passes his leadership test, he becomes Super Saiyan. And he does. Okay. It was a close one, but he does. So, all right. So that's quite possibly the most successful psychic phase I've ever had in my entire life. So we'll come back to you with the shooting phase for Dark Angels here on turn 2. All right, so starting the shooting phase here, the Grav squad inside of here is going to fire onto his flying Hive Tyrant there. So the black ones are the Signum ones, so they're hitting on 2s. Greens are hitting on 3s because he's grounded. So, all righty. So all these hits. He's got a 3+ armor, so wounding on 3s. He is drinking, he already told me that. So wounding on 3s. Rerolling because of grav amps. All right, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 saves to make. 4+ jinx saves. He needs to make.
Dead.
No, he is dead.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Slay the Warlord is yeah, just happened. Holy cow. Okay, moving on. All right, so these guys are going to shoot into the Termagants there. So they're hitting on 3s, twin linked. All right, wounding on 2s. 1 wound, 2+ save. Yep, they're good. All right, now he rolls 4s. All right, I think that's it for the shooting phase, and that's going to be the end of the turn. I've got some runs I'm going to make, but that's about it. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for Tyranids here on turn 2. All right, so movement phase for Tyranids here. These guys all stood still, and these guys dropped in, and these guys dropped in, and then he ran them, and that's the end of the Tyranid turn here on turn 2. So we're going to come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, movement phase here on turn 3 for the Dark Angels. He pivoted. They stood still. These guys ran out this way. These guys shot out this way, looking on his Mounthrope over there. And that's it for movement phase. I'm not going to do a psychic phase because nothing I can do is really like necessary right now. Mind Worm a Spore. That seems totally worth it. So I'm gonna just pass it on to the shooting phase now. All right, the squad inside of the Rhino is going to shoot onto this Spore squad. So they're going to use the bolters are going to fire. So the blacks are hitting on 2s. Okay. Get 2 hits, wounding on 2s. So 2 wounds, so that's just 2 guys dead. All right, moving on. All right, Stormbolter is going to fire into him. Hitting on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 2s. He's dead. Okay. All right, I stopped recording a little bit too soon because I didn't realize this, but the Spore Field, the rule is on a 3 plus? 4 up, they, if you destroy a unit, that goes back into ongoing reserve. So, boom, he rolled a 5, back into ongoing reserves. Okay, sounds good. All right, these guys here are going to fire into this squad of Spores. So I've got 8 shots coming in, hitting on 3s. Okay. Wounding on 2s. So 4. So they are, well, 2 of them actually. So, okay, that's a save on the first one. Keep rolling. Nope, that first one's dead. Next closest one's just going to be dead, which is 3. So 1 guy survived. Okay. All right, this squad is going to fire into his Malanthrope back there. So 3, they're within rapid fire range. So 3 shots, 3 rapid firing plasma talons, hitting on 3s. Twin linked. Oof, I got a bunch of 1s here. So these all can be gets hot. All right, none of them get hot, and actually all of them hit the second time. Then these ones. All right, so that's a miss, but it wasn't a gets hot because the first one of it wasn't a gets hot. All right, so its toughness is 5. So wounding on 2s. Oh, of course I rolled 2 1s. 3 1s. Oh, so 2 2 pluses. All right, so it is good. All right, these guys here are going to fire into the gaunts. Hitting on 3s. Oh my god, 1s. Come on, baby. All right, wounding on 2. No, what's their toughness?
I want to say 3.
All right, toughness 3, so wounding on 3s. All right, 2 wounds. 2 2 plus saves. 1 of them dies. All right, so now that's it for the shooting phase. I think we might have an assault. We'll come back to that. All right, the Black Knights here are going to charge into his Malanthrope. It's an 8-inch charge coming around the corner there. So, do you have any Overwatch for them? Nope, no shooting there. So I just need to roll an 8. Come on, boys, you can do this. Oh, 6. That's rough, because now they are right in the front there. Cool. That's great. All right, so that's it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 3. So we'll come back to you with the Tyranids after movement phase on turn 3. All right, movement phase here on turn 3 for the Tyranids. In come all the spores, every spore. So the 2 mucilid spores came in here. 1 actually mishapped off this way and went into ongoing reserves. These 2 guys came in here and then ran to where they are. This guy moved up where he is. These guys came in and ran. These guys came in and ran. Those guys shuffled around a bit, and then he moved up on top of there. So that's it for movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase here on turn 3. All right, so the gaunts there are going to fire into my bikes. I am not jinking. So we've got 9 gaunts shooting in here, hitting on 4s. Oh, really good rolling. Oh, brutal. All right, wounding on 5s. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 wounds. All right. So I've got 3 plus saves. Please don't fail all of these. Oh, but I failed 2 of them. Like a big old jerk face. All right, so that's 2 Black Knights dead. Great, sounds good. I think that's it for shooting phase here for the Tyranids. So we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you with the 1 charge I think he's got. All right, so these guys over here are going to charge into my knight. So I'm going to do Overwatch. So hitting on 5s and 6s because he didn't jink. Twin linked. Oh, this one can get hot. All right, that's a hit. And that's a hit. Wounding on 2s. Okay. Double 1s. Let's see if he can roll the same thing on his charge. Needs 8. Does not get it. All right. So moving on. All right. So this boar here is going to charge into my guys over here. So I'm going to shoot Overwatch here. So hitting it on 5s and 6s. All right, so he's getting into combat because he can't really fail that unless he rolls a double 1. Do you want to roll that? Because I think if you roll a double 1, unless they have a move through cover, no, he's in. So yeah, we'll figure. So he's just going to explode. So we'll figure out what happens here and come back to you with that. All right, it exploded, but and did wounds, but I made the armor saves. yeah, we didn't have it on camera because I don't know why I didn't do that, but we didn't. So you just got to take my word for that. All right. Yep. So moving on, we'll come back to you after. That's it for this turn. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels on turn 4, 5, 4, 4. Turn 4, 5.
One of them.
We'll figure it out and we'll tell you whatever one it is. We'll come back to you after that one. All right. Movement phase for Dark Angels. This squad disembarked from here. Looking on this guy. These guys stood still. Those guys stood still, and he shot around that way, looking up on him. So that's it for movement phase here. I'm gonna move on to the psychic phase. I rolled a 2, so leaving me with 3 dice, leaving my opponent with 2 dice. I'm gonna roll on Mind Worm onto one of these dudes. So needing 1. Jeez, needing 1. Yeah, rolling to hit. All right, I got 1. And not denied. So then I have to roll to see if I hit. I do hit. Strength 6, toughness 3. Toughness 3. Wounding on a 2. That's a 2.
Shrouded.
It has shrouded.
Oh, but does that ignores cover?
It does ignore cover.
Okay.
So it is just doubled out.
Yeah.
Right? So it's dead.
It comes back though.
It comes back. Okay, that was it. It doubled out, but it comes back. So, yeah, we'll probably see them in the future. All right, moving on to the shooting phase. All right, on to the shooting phase over here. We're going to start with the grav cannons. They move, so it's salvo 3-5. One of them is going to take the signum, so that'll be the black ones here are going to be hitting on 2s. Greens are going to be hitting on 3s. So we'll come over here and shoot it. Hitting on 2s and 3s. Alrighty. Wounding on, what? They have no armor, right?
No armor.
No armor. So wounding on 6s. Reroll because of grav amps. All right, so we've got 2 AP2 shots there, but they've got shrouding. So we got 2 4 pluses. All right, so he takes 1 wound. So he's down to 2. Then we're going to move on to the bolters and the bolt pistol. So these are all hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Wounding on, what's his toughness? 3, toughness 3, so wounding on 3s. Alright, so we got 2 wounds, 2 4 pluses. Nope, so it is dead. Does he come back? He does not. So, okay, that's the first time a spore has not come back. All right, that's moving on to the shoot phase. All right, so we're going to move on to this squad. They're going to shoot into those spore mines there. So I've got 5 shots coming in, all hitting on 3s. Okay. Wounding on 2s, right, because they're toughness 1. Wounding on 2s. All right, so that's 3 dead. All right, do they come back? They do. Man, those things keep coming back. All right, so moving on. All right, that guy is going to fire into the Malanthrope. It's got rapid fire range, so hitting on 3s. Both hits. Wounding on, he's toughness what?
5.
Toughness 5, so wounding on 2s. So that's 2 wounds, 2 2+ saves. He makes them both. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase here on turn 4 for the Dark Angels. We'll come back to you with the charge. All right, so he is going, the Black Knight there is going to charge into the Malanthrope. He needs a 3-inch charge, ignoring terrain because he's a bike, and doesn't have to take dangerous terrain because he's got skilled rider. And I make it. So we will come back to you with that. All right, so here we go, on to here. So the first thing we've got is my Hammer of Wrath. So wounding on a 5. Nope, nothing. So now we're going to move on to I5, which is the Malanthrope here. So he's got 3 attacks, weapon skill of 4.
3.
Weapon skill 3, so hitting on 4s. Nothing. Okay. So then my guy's got 2 base attacks, +1 for the charge, +1 for extra close combat weapon. He's going to be hitting on 3s. Okay, so I got 3 hits. Now, he's strength +1 with rending, so his toughness is 5, so I'm going to be wounding on 4s, and 6s will be rending. Okay, so I got 2 rending shots onto him. So he just takes 2 wounds. How many wounds does he have? 4. 4. All right, so, and I imagine he's...
Yes, it's a 4.
So I'm guessing... What's up? So I'm guessing he is a... yeah, he's fearless. That's the word I'm looking for. So he will stay in there, so that fight will continue on. All right, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for Tyranids on turn 4. Movement phase here for Tyranids on turn 4. In come his spores. So here come these guys. They came in here. These guys just ran up here. His other ones shot up onto there, or dropped down onto there. and the Termagants just kind of like shuffled out of there. So yeah, that's it for movement phase. So now we're going to move on to the shooting phase for Tyranids here on turn 4. All right, so the 9 Gaunts are going to fire into my dude bros over here. So hitting on 4s. Ooh, wow. Hitting pretty good on those guys. All right, and then wounding on strength 4, so 4s. All right, so we got 3 wounds. 3+ armor saves. 1 guy dies. All right. Okay, moving on. All right, so that's the end of his shooting phase. He's got a couple runs that he's doing, but these guys at the end of the shooting phase failed their leadership test and then ran 11 inches back, right to there. So yeah, not great. So we'll come back to you with the fight sub phase, I think, on turn 4 for the Tyranids. All right, so we're on to this fight over here. So at initiative 5 will come his Malanthrope. So he's got 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, 1 hit, poison 2+. It's a wound. 3+ armor save. No, he's dead. Like a big old jerk. All right, so that just happened. Okay, great. All right. So, yeah, this is consolidation. All right, so, yeah, we'll come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels here on turn 5. Top of turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. He just kind of shuffled around a bit. These guys shuffled around a bit, but the grav cannons didn't move. These guys just moved up into cover over there, and that's it for movement phase. So then we rolled for psychic phase. I rolled a 2, leaving me with 3 dice, leaving my opponent with 2 dice. So I'm going to roll all 3 onto Mindworm, and it goes off with 1, and he does not deny it. Okay, so let's see if he can hit onto this back spore over there. Hitting on a 3, he hits. Strength, toughness 3, right? So wounding on a 2. Does not wound. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so those guys are going to fire into the spore mine right there in front of them. So hitting on 3s. Alrighty, wounding on a toughness 3. So wounding on a 3. That's a wound. Need a 4+? Nope, so he takes a wound. All right, moving on. All right, so this squad here is going to fire into this pod. Spore mine. No, spore pod? Mucoid spore. So we're going to start with the grav cannons. The black ones are hitting on 2s because of the signum. Alrighty. Made the right call on that one. Alright, these are wounded on 6s, re-rolling because of grav amps. Okay. Re-rolling because of grav amps. Okay. That's not statistical. All right, so we're going to move on to the bolter dudes there. So there's 2 of them. It's going to be rapid firing. So hitting on 3s. Okay. Wounding on 3s. All right, 3 wounds, 3 4+ saves. We got 1, so he's down to 1. All right. All right, this squad here is going to fire into the closer of the pods there. So we've got 8 shots coming in here between the rapid firing bolt guns and the bolt pistols. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Wounding on 3s. Alright, so you've got 2, 4, 6.
Shrouded and covered.
Yep, 2, 4, 6, so it's 6 2+s. Oh, 3 1s. So it is dead.
Does it come back?
Does it come back? It does not. All right. All right, moving on. Stormbolter is going to fire into the last pod there, or Mucoloid, hitting on 3s. That's 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. 4+. Oh, so he is alive. That's unfortunate. All right, so that's the end of, because I'm not charging, I'm not an idiot. So that's the end of the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 5. So we'll come back to you after Tyranids turn 5. All right, so movement phase here on turn 5 for Tyranids. This dude bro's coming up right up into there. These dude bros are making their way over here. And those guys just stood around there on their Emperor's Will objective. So that's it for movement phase here for Tyranids. I don't think he has a shooting phase that he's going to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move into the assault phase, or maybe do some runs. He might do some runs. So we'll come back to you with the assault phase eventually. All right, no runs. We're just going to go straight into assault. So we'll come back to you with that. All right, so here we go on to this assault over here. So he's coming into this squad here. So I'm going to roll Overwatch. So I've got 8 shots coming in here, all hitting on 5s and 6s because of Grim Resolve. Okay, I got a couple. All right, these are wounding on 3s. Of course. So, and he is into there. So we will figure out what this happens with the hits, and then we'll come back to you with that.
We're all terrible.
So the way this works here is he has the blast template, which goes off, and we're not playing ITC because of the rules of this league. So it's going to hit everybody there. So all the levels there. So there's 5 guys coming in here. It's strength 8, AP 3, but it's not considered a shooting attack, so I don't get cover from it. So it's just, if all the 2s that he gets here, it's going to kill him because it's strength 8, AP 3. It's just going to ignore everything. So
Once.
just need 1s, 2 1s, but I still think it's going to kill off my warlord.
Yeah, because it'll.
Yeah. So all right. So we move everybody there, and he killed my warlord. So let's slay the warlord for him. And does he come back? He does not. Okay. So yeah, that's the end of turn 5. Do you want to roll to see if we go on to a turn 6? That's the other one. It does. Okay. So we're on to turn 6. We'll come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels on turn 6. All right. So actually, we forgot. There's actually these guys are going to charge into these dude bros here. So I'm going to roll for Overwatch here, hitting on 5s and 6s. Nothing. So he needs to roll 12 inches because they only move half. Nope. So they're not in. All right. So we'll come back to you again now after movement phase for Dark Angels on turn 6. All right. So we talked it over here, and it's going on to turn 6. He doesn't think that he can get anybody from over here into my zone over here because he doesn't have anyone left in reserves to drop in. So that leaves us with both of us holding each of our own Emperor's Will objectives. So that's 3 points each. I had First Blood and Slay the Warlord, which gives me 5 points total. And he has Slay the Warlord, giving him 4 points total. So this is a Dark Angel victory by the slimmest of margins, but a Dark Angel victory. So yeah, so that's how it goes. I guess the Dark Angels were able to push back the Tyranids to continue their fight here on the in the war for this league here. So yeah, that's what we've got going on here. So hope you all enjoyed it. I've been Phil the Glacial Geek. My opponent's been John. And then share, like, and subscribe to the video. And until next time, have fun. Oh, and also, if you enjoy 40K, you enjoy humor, some of it a bit crude, make sure that you check out Mob Rules Podcast on iTunes. That's where Jonathan and our friend Ted and sometimes myself talk about all things 40K, a lot of it being really funny. So, some of it funny, unless John's talking. So, yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. Check out the podcast, share, like, and subscribe to the video, and until next time, have fun.